There is a central myth that haunts almost all reporting on public safety in this country, from every local news outlet to the national news outlets to the way we all think. Our brain chemistry has literally been changed by consuming all of this stuff. And that myth is that the policies in police departments, prosecutor offices, courts, jails, prisons have a significant effect on crime and levels of violence in our society. That is completely and utter nonsense. The levels of violence and interpersonal harm in a society and the levels of police recorded crime are much, much more influenced by deep structural features of our society. Inequality, poverty, um, exposure to toxic chemicals. So lead exposure in children is hugely connected to future levels of violence. The couple biggest ones are early childhood education, housing, and medical care. So Medicaid expansion is one of the things you can do the most to affect levels of arrest in a particular area. So everybody knows this stuff, and there's other stuff too, sort of like toxic masculinity and a culture of male violence. These are things that have been studied across societies, right? Also, like levels of isolation and loneliness versus, you know, opportunities for young people in particular to do things together, free public spaces to hang out in, parks, music, theater, poetry, athletics, like the arts. These are the things that actually impact how much people hurt each other in a society. It is not impacted by whether the prison sentence for some offense is 4 years or 6 years or 7 years or 11 years. It's not impacted by little policy tweaks that are the difference between two prosecutor candidates running for election, or whether there's 7 officers on patrol or 14 officers on patrol in a given city. Those things literally do not affect on a massive social structural level, short, medium, or long-term levels of interpersonal harm. So this myth, though, is presented in literally every news story. There are all these news stories are about what this prosecutor is going to do and what that police chief's going to do. That stuff does not affect levels of violence in a society or levels of social harm. And yet, it is the very premise of almost every news story about these policies